Hey, what's poppin', people? Brimstone here, and you're watching The Kate Fox Show.
You're watching The Kate Fox Show. I'm Kate Fox, and I am here at Grindhouse Radio, and I am with the other members of the Grindhouse, and I'm going to ask you guys to introduce yourselves because I am still, my brain is swimming from speaking to Mr. Brimstone.
Oh, I bet.
All right. I guess I'll go first. I'm Steve. I'm also known as Zambo on the Grindhouse Radio.
I'm Tom, aka Mr. Greer.
And I'm Kim Adragna. Hey.
Yeah. Hi.
You guys are so sweet and so much fun.
Thank you.
I have to say.
You don't gotta lie.
Yeah. Don't lie here.
I don't. I know I just walked into here today, but from the second I walked in, it was just so comfortable. And I keep saying it, I'm not leaving. So I'm now part of this because it's
Welcome.
what a great place. And
Yeah.
what a great vibe you all have.
Thank you.
Thank you
We
very
try.
much.
We do our best to make everybody feel like welcome when they walk in here.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
especially with the show too, we like to try and keep it as real as possible. It's really just our attitudes just kind of turned up just a little bit more to be more like the radio, like personalities you would know and love. So.
I think when we first started, our whole goal was, and a lot of people say when we have, our table here and everyone's around the table, that when they listen, that they feel that that they're here with us.
Yeah.
Even though they're not physically, they are here with us.
Which is huge.
Which is huge. And when everyone walks in or whenever they listen to us, it's a family. So
Yeah.
you're here now, so welcome.
Yeah.
I love being here, but it is true. You've just even the way you all interact, the way it's a nice feeling.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
You're great as
I'm glad
well.
you feel like that.
Well, thank you.
You're great as well.
But this is
No,
why it's parlayed into something that keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. Because if you
Absolutely.
didn't have such a nice camaraderie, such a nice dynamic, you wouldn't be able to elevate it no matter what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what
We
makes
had
it kind
that.
of easy. Is just like it's not like it never really feels like we're doing like a job. Like for the most part, we just sit down. It just feels like we're just hanging out, having a conversation.
Which is
and
great.
Kind
Yeah.
of what makes everything feel like so fluid and normal.
Yeah, and I think we lucked out tremendously because even from the get-go, from the beginning, we all had this chemistry that was pretty from the start. We were great. Like Steve said something, would bounce off of me. If Tom said something, Brim, the whole thing.
Yep.
So, I think we're lucky enough that we all work together.
Which
Which is half the battle,
yeah,
when you're doing podcasting or when you're doing radio. So,
absolutely. Because
Yeah.
if you weren't doing that, then something would be just not
off.
working. Yeah, it would be off, and you wouldn't be getting these awards and having the listeners grow and grow and grow.
Yeah.
You're doing something right.
By the looks of it, yeah.
I
I think
so.
we're doing it right.
2020.
Yeah.
You wanna get-
Yeah.
I know.
again.
Congratulations.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff.
Thank you.
And that each one of you did have an intent at some point, based on your education and the like, to go into broadcasting, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
for me personally, I went to Farmingdale State, so I stayed local, but they actually didn't have anything radio related there. So when I was there, I started it. Me and a group of other kids started it, and now still today, that radio station is thriving, and I'm glad.
That's
Who would have thought that would
Yeah,
kickstart?
it's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
cool. Do you go back ever?
I went back once. There may be intentions of going back, but I would love to go back and see, what shows they have now and, basically who's there and who's interested in doing radio as well or podcasting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you started that.
Because I started it,
That's
which is fun. you know?
that's something not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah.
I started this.
Mhm.
You started it.
Yeah, and I'm glad. I'm glad I did that because it's weird because when they first started, one of my friends actually mentioned, they said, "Oh, there's this club that's going to start," and I said, "Okay, so let me see how it goes." And then I never thought that years later I would do the internship, and then Steve would be there, and he had a broadcast background.
Yeah,
I met Steve when we were first initially doing the internship with Brim.
Yeah.
And then years later, this is where we are, and then Tom came aboard.
And we're all equals, and Tom and I both learned at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Yeah.
They have a campus over here in Westbury.
I did not know that.
Yeah. They're all up and down the East Coast now. They used to be on the West Coast, but then they moved everything over to the East Coast. And I started there originally. I went to Five Towns for a bit, met Brim, became an intern like Kim was saying with her, and then we met. And then I was working again at CSB for a little while. Saw Tom, and I knew Tom from a little bit before, so I said, hey, want to try this thing? And he joined in on the team while we were just building it, and he's been here ever since.
Yeah, Steve actually used to help me with my projects when we were working on
he used to
at
help all the time.
CSB, and like we would be putting like little things together.
Little
I would have
projects.
Steve come in and listen to it and make sure they sounded good, because I knew that Steve had been working there like for a while. I knew he was experienced, so
Yeah.
it was a help. What I liked about this whole situation when I got in was I grew up on Opie and Anthony. Like I grew up on Owen. I used to listen to. It's really messed up when I tell people, but I used to listen to it with my mom all the time. And what I loved about it was that they basically. That's where I got the whole love for it just seeming like a hangout. Like that's what they used to preach all the time. That they used to just preach that radio shouldn't be this corny. Like you shouldn't have a radio voice. You should literally just sit down and just have a conversation with people.
You
and
mean
kinda
you shouldn't have this
No,
kind of voice?
I hate.
Why do you not want to use your radio voice?
Because
I
not
think-
everything is 10-10 wins. You don't need 10 minutes to be shown the world.
Yeah,
Exactly. You don't need that.
And also, that's kind of like the old way of doing things.
Yeah,
True.
it's much more
it's
free
like-
form.
It's the old
People
way.
want real now.
But people still do it. Like there's enough
Yeah.
people. Like you listen, it's more in sports radio now because that's kind of really the only. Like
It's a little more authoritative, I think.
yeah, it's only
say.
real personality
Advertise
driven.
now.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, so
We could do a whole stretch like this, just having some. I'm sorry, I'm having some.
No, it's fine. We do that all the time as a joke. So it's totally
And that's the
understandable.
thing, like how we're talking now and like these conversations is the conversations that we have on the show too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
And
It's-
that's
it's
why
literally-
people listen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically a round table show, like what you were basically saying, where people feel like they're a part of it, and it feels like it's almost like Seinfeld. It's almost like a show
Yeah.
about nothing. There is actually structure to it,
Yeah.
but at its core, it's a show about nothing, and it's great, and
Pop
that's why
culture.
it works.
it's
Yeah,
about pop
yeah.
culture.
That's the base. Everything else
Pop
is just
culture,
free
nothing.
range because pop culture is so broad, and that's why it's so good, you know. And
Yeah.
that's why we are able to create the content that we can create.
Yeah.
And that's the best part about it. We don't put ourselves in one niche.
And what's great is, like we started out with one microphone, one table, no soundproofing, no nothing. It was very
Oh,
tinny.
that's he said that.
Echoey,
Yeah,
Yes.
it was
Garbo.
echoey, and it was all like, oh, you have this background, you have this background, I have this background. Let's see what happens, and
Yep.
then that's where it came. And now
Here
we
we
have
are.
our own studio with soundproofing, with high-end microphones and headsets and boards and cameras and everything. So,
And the best chairs ever.
Oh,
yeah, the chairs are very comfy.
guilty
See,
of falling
I'm
asleep.
not gonna lie to you.
quite a few times.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I'm pretty sure we had mine for like a little while. I did break the chair. You can't lift mine up and down anymore. It's
Yeah.
just stuck at that level.
I'm just gonna blame your butt.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine.
It is destructive.
Well, I mean, it was the low man
Yeah.
on the totem pole
Yeah.
in the chair.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
guess
is.
so.
It is. It matches my height, which is short.
You're not that short. You're roughly average height. What? It's not that bad. Did I throw you off? I'm sorry.
I'm having a great time.
Well,
I'm
great
telling
to
you,
have fun.
like,
Good.
I'm sitting here and I want to ask things, but I'm just enjoying this.
I'm
glad
glad
you
you
are,
So, for
because
you,
that's literally how it is.
Do you listen to a lot of podcasts, or is that something new for you?
It's newish for me.
Okay.
I've started to, but I'm a little bit old fashioned.
Okay.
But then again, like I drive an old car. I have a single CD player in it.
Okay.
I don't do Spotify.
Okay.
I don't do any of those. I have CDs. I have a radio.
Okay.
Okay.
And so I some things I'm very late to the party with because
Gotcha.
I just am some things I'll jump and I'll learn and that's great, but some things I don't want to know
Mm-hmm.
because I just don't want to change.
I
I don't
understand.
know if
Gotcha.
it could be laziness, it could just be
It's a comfort level, probably.
Yeah,
familiarity.
It's
Yeah.
truly
You
familiar.
know, you're used to having the stations that you regularly listen to cycle through on your car.
Yeah.
Like having a phone app that you would just play whatever show you want. It's like it's different.
Yeah.
I don't like apps. They annoy me. That's a whole other.
You're not wrong.
But so okay, so anyone can answer this.
Go.
What would you like to be doing on top of this, or from this?
Well, you first.
You first. So I think while doing this, this kind of opened up a lot of doors for I think a majority of us.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we do podcasting, and yes, we do advertising and whatnot, but that kind of opened up the doors for us to do more voiceover work.
That's what I was gonna say.
And more acting and just other opportunities that kind of came to fruition after this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things in the entertainment industry where once you do one thing, it kind of opens up the doors for everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you're probably going to say
That's
that too.
literally exactly what I was gonna go for. So you're fine. You're good. Yeah.
So
You covered what I was gonna say.
Voiceover work.
Yeah. No.
Character work.
Essentially that.
Yeah.
Narration,
commercials,
audiobooks, you name it.
Yeah.
Any form of voice work is something that we've definitely dipped our toes into.
That's
If
great.
not, we're about to.
I
basically.
kind of just want to do more shows.
Agreed.
Like that's just the way I feel. I love the radio side of things. Like I just love broadcasting. That I kind of just want to have as many shows that I could possibly think of, and just sit behind a microphone and do them. Because there's really just nothing I love more than just sitting around and just having a conversation with people about whatever topic we decided to have a conversation about. If I had one that's dedicated to sports, or I think me and Steve have kicked around the idea of doing stuff on esports or video games and stuff like that.
Electronic sport and things like that.
And that's
we do a
do a Disney show. Yes,
I
we do a
know. I
Disney
heard
show.
that.
The Magic Kim Tom
Brett
Cup.
obviously has his ranting
Magical
series.
Mondays.
Magical Mondays.
Yeah.
7 p.m.
Yeah, so that's kind of like
Shameless
what I've always at least strived to want to do is just more radio work.
And we do have to work on the details for that show.
We
too.
do,
We
and
have to
also
sit down
covering
and
sports.
do that. Now that I'm actually remembering
my
it, no,
baby.
we kind of have to do that.
I think
so we want
what's
to.
important to people is you said that you want to do a lot of shows and more shows and everything, and I think we all do.
Mm-hmm.
But what's important is that now, because people can do podcasting, it's not like you necessarily have to have the degree for broadcasting.
Yeah.
Correct.
And it's not like you have to fight to get a position in a radio show. Now it's more so you could kind of learn on your own and upload and do everything by yourself. And if you work at it hard enough and be persistent, you could be like us, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the whole point. That's why we did podcasting.
Yeah.
So
I love it, and I just. Oh my God! I think I'm fangirling for a minute.
Take your time.
Because it's everything that you're saying, but it's true.
No, yeah.
You have this passion, and it's taking you, and now you've won how many awards? How many?
Countless
this is
at this point.
number
Yeah.
4 for Best
Four
on
for
Long
Best
Island.
Yeah.
Best of Long Island.
We won the Score Small American Business Championship.
I mean, you're all over the place,
Yeah.
and this is you're following your passion.
yeah,
And you started really at the ground level,
yeah.
Yeah.
and Grindhouse is going up, 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 and you're branching out as you grow.
As you can say, we are building our house.
Yeah, this didn't seem real to me until I think it might have been last year or two. Probably was last year, and we have a reviews. We get reviews every week. We got 2. One was from France, in French, so we had to translate it on Google Translate. The other one was I think it might have been Gaelic.
It was Gaelic.
It was from Ireland.
It was Gaelic. Yeah.
And when we got those, we get reviews all the time. We get reactions from people all the time.
The best part about that Gaelic translation was for Tom. It literally said, "If you come to Ireland, come to this certain bar, and we'll buy you a pint."
Yeah,
It was directed towards him,
Wow.
which was
Yeah.
We
glorious.
started reaching global and people in other countries. Wow, this is legit.
This is
isn't
big.
just
How crazy
this
is
isn't
that?
just
Yeah.
like
So
a
great.
couple of our friends listening and reacting in their room somewhere. This is worldwide.
This is a real thing.
yeah, it's a real
It
Yeah.
is
thing.
very real.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to see that.
I love hearing that.
Yeah.
Well, I want to, I don't know. You can pick and choose. Somebody take us out and say thank you for watching the Kate Fox Show. I'm out.
Well, do you want me to do it?
Thanks
Hey,
for
guys.
watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching the Kate Fox Show. You guys gotta watch her more often.
Hell yeah.
Like her stuff on. Are you on Facebook?
I am.
Are you on all the other social medias?
YouTube, Instagram.
Everything.
Smash those like buttons.
Yeah.
Hit that subscribe button.
Do it.
Hit those hearts and hit those follows.
Well, thank you.
If you don't, I'll
Thank
find you.
Thank
with
you.
us
And
make
like
you.
them and follow them.
Yes. Please.
Hey.